Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since I've sat down to film a video. I am going to give you an update on all of that in this video and give you some bigger homeschooling updates, things that we have changed since the end of last year, that sort of thing. But hi, my name is Ashley if you are new here, and this is my second year homeschooling. I am currently homeschooling a kindergartner and a pre-K 3. So like I said, this video is basically going to be just a little update of where we've been, what we've been up to the past month, and that sort of thing. So I'm not sure if I even told you guys yet, but we have obviously started school at this point. We actually started mid-August, which is not when I thought that we were going to start. I don't remember if I said that in any of my other videos. It's been a while since I filmed a video. But we did start, I think it was technically the second week in August, but we only did a couple days. We started kind of on a whim almost. My son was really excited about doing school. He kind of remembered and he was like, I miss doing school. And I had been thinking about doing it the next week anyway, starting school, but I was a little bit on the fence still, but I was leaning towards starting that next Monday. But because he was excited to start, I was like, you know what, let's just start early and let's start today. Why not? If you're excited, let's do it. So we started our kindergarten curriculum, which if you don't know, we are doing the Good and the Beautiful, language arts, and math. And so we have been doing those two curriculums since then. So we are like about on lesson like 19 or something like that. We're about a month in, I would say, and it's honestly been going really well. I think I'm going to do a video on that, probably just like a first impressions of the Good and Beautiful kindergarten. So let me know if you're interested in that, but I probably will film that soon. So also we did go on vacation last week. So we really only did what was supposed to be 4 weeks of school, but the week before vacation was also my daughter's first birthday, and we actually only ended up doing school once that week, so it was almost like we took a 2-week vacation after doing 3 weeks of school, which seems kind of crazy. But one thing that I wanted to update you guys on is that I came up with a schedule. I planned out the whole year, which I thought about doing a video on that as well, so let me know if that is interesting to you or not. But I planned out where we're going to be doing about 4 weeks on, 1 week off, and we should be taking almost all of June, July, and August off, as well as December. So that's like the beautiful thing about the Good and the Beautiful, is that it's only 30 weeks. So there's quite a bit of time that you can dedicate to doing other things and not just doing schoolwork, which I'm really excited about. The other thing that I realized as we started is that towards the end of last year, I was kind of planning a whole lot, and because it was my first year homeschooling, I feel like a lot of the year was spent doing like figuring out like how we were going to do our routine, what we wanted to do, and homeschooling was like a huge part of our day, like a huge priority obviously in the day. But now I kind of feel like this year I realized that they're only little for so long, and of course it's still a huge priority to get schoolwork done, but I don't want to be doing school for like hours a day, or it to be like a huge chunk of our day, if that makes sense, because I know that in the coming years that will be inevitably what happens, and I'm excited for that as well. But I kind of just want to embrace this season where school can take an hour and then we can be done, and we don't have to put all of these added things on top of our school year and think like that we have to do X amount of read aloud time a day, or we have to do art and science and history and all of those things, because we don't really have to do those things just yet. And as you'll see, we are going to be doing those things, but I'm just putting less pressure on them, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So that's the first like kind of huge update, is like this mental shift that I've had in wanting to just keep our days more simple. And I don't know if that came across in my curriculum choices video, if that's kind of what I was leaning towards, but I kind of feel like what I remember my headspace being last year or last school year anyway, is like not being kind of simple and more flexible and relaxed, and that's just kind of what we've shifted into this year, and I feel really good about it. I would say now that we have been doing school for about a month or so, we are kind of falling into a routine, but we're not completely in a routine yet, which is kind of crazy to say, but like we are used to doing school. It's part of our days, but I'm still kind of trying to figure out with the baby and trying to figure out, should we do it while she's awake or should we wait until she's napping, and where in the day, most days, am I going to try to fit it in, and trying to figure out our week to week and what I'm trying to accomplish. Like I know that we're going to be doing our play group, and I usually visit my mom one day during the week. So, and then I obviously like to work on doing things like this, like YouTube. And if you don't know, I also opened up an Etsy shop, so I would like to work on that throughout the week as well. So I'm just trying to figure out the flow of our week. And once I do, I think I'm going to film another day in the life so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what we've been up to, because I have missed doing those. I haven't done a day in the life in a while. But another big update that I wanted to give you guys, which I did mention already in one of my other videos, is that I wanted to give a Sonlight update. So I believe I definitely said this in the how I'm teaching my 3-year-old, but I figured I'll give it as like a big update here because this is like my big homeschool update video. And so I've thought about this more too as we've been reading books and that sort of thing, is that I realized, so my original plan was to do Sonlight Tea. So just Sonlight Tea, follow the curriculum word for word what was in the book. I was going to buy it from Sonlight, get the entire package, have the 3-year-old like manipulative type set and all of that, and just follow what they say to do. But when my son asked to start early, I didn't have that yet. So I was like, let me just start with Sonlight P, because that's what I did have, and I was planning on doing that next year. And I figured I can get an idea of if those books were too advanced for my 3-year-old or if he could do that. And since we already had it, I figured why not? So we started following the curriculum. So what I realized is that at this age, I don't really need a curriculum to tell me what to read and when to read it, because the books are just, some of them are really short in the sense that like the Bernstein Bears book, it tells you to read like 2 or 3 pages, and there's really not a lot of writing on it. And my sons just want to keep going. They don't want to stop. And at this age, I don't think I need something to like walk me through it. I think we could read it really quick some days. Some days we don't read them at all. And so I decided to just read the Sonlight T and P books this year if we get through all of them. If not, I'm going to carry them over into the summer and into next year, because we typically read a lot of picture books anyway. So that's the plan. I decided to not follow the Sonlight curriculum to a T. We're still going to read the books, and I'll still give updates on how we're liking the books and everything. But I just decided that at this age, it's not going to work for us to just follow the curriculum, because it's just a bit too slow, and we would prefer to just read through some books quicker. So the next update I wanted to give is a gather round update. So in my curriculum choices video, I said that I wanted to do the At the Pond one, and I still do want to do that. But when we started early, I figured let's just get used to what we're doing now. And I'm really glad that we did that. Actually, I didn't try to do like Gather Round and The Good and the Beautiful all together, because when we got into The Good and the Beautiful, it was a bit of a struggle for my son. He definitely was ready for it. He had the ability to do it, but I could have, I think, easily in the beginning decided like, oh, this isn't the right fit for us. It's too advanced for him, and just decided not to do it because he was getting like melting down about it. He didn't like to read, and even though he could do it, and he wasn't enjoying getting back into the swing of things. And that's kind of what I chalk it up to now, because now that we're in it, he's loving it. He's doing a great job, honestly, and he has a much better attitude. But I'm, like I said, glad that we started kind of slowly. We started with The Good and the Beautiful first. The math we started last year and then put it on pause, and we picked up where we left off, which that has never been a problem for us. He loves math, and the math is perfect level for him. It's not hard for him at all. So he's happy to do it. He likes it. The language arts is what was more challenging. But now as we're in it, like I said, he's done a good job. And so now I'm starting to think about adding in the gather round unit at the pond, because I think that I do miss learning about different like environmental topics, the animals. I liked the format of gather round a lot and how it was all encompassing. It did have other subjects as well, not just phonics and math, but I think it would be really cool to have some supplemental phonics and math in our days, and it just to be just something that we have to learn too about, like I said, the environment and animals and that sort of thing. So I'm thinking about adding that in next month, but I will keep you updated. I think I'm going to do a video every month to give like an update on how everything is going. So this could be like my September update, since it is pretty close to the end of September. So that's what I'm thinking with Gather Round. We are planning on doing it, but we have not started yet. So then the next thing that I also wanted to update you guys on is a change that I made, is that for science, since we haven't started the Gather Round one, we did have, I mentioned in my curriculum choices video, the Fields and Flowers from The Good and the Beautiful. I had bought that last year too for this year. And then in my video, I said that we weren't going to be doing it because I was trying not to overload our plates. But then I decided that I looked at the lessons again, and they're very short. They're very easy to do. They're not overwhelming in any way. So I did decide to add that back in. I think we've only done 2 lessons so far though. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm just doing things a lot more relaxed. If we had a really busy week, The Good and the Beautiful has a 4-day week schedule. And so I'm typically trying to do the science on that 5th day. But if we are out of the house all day that 5th day and we don't get to it, I'm not stressing. I would like to maybe add it to another day, but that's the thing. I'm just kind of going with the flow. If it doesn't fit in, then we don't do it that week. And I also realized that we could just do it into the summer too. If they're enjoying the lessons and we still have some lessons at the end of the year because I didn't want to squeeze them in on a really busy week or something, then we could just do science at the end of the year or something. So I'm really enjoying the freedom of that, and it doesn't feel overwhelming because of it. And yeah, so those are kind of our big updates. I could probably give you one little update about my pre-K 3 child. He is doing really well too. He really enjoys sitting and doing his workbooks, but I've honestly, because of this spirit of kind of going with the flow, I have been not sitting with him as much as I maybe anticipated. I think now that we're back from vacation and it feels a bit more like we're settled, I think I'm going to try to sit with him more. I'd say I was really only sitting with him maybe 1 or 2 times a week before this. I'd like to try to up that, but trying not to stress myself out about it either, because I know that he doesn't need this time, but he enjoys it. So I want to try to foster that like love of learning with him. So yeah, I think that is it for this video, but I hope that you guys are doing well. Please let me know, how is your school year going? Have you guys made any changes yet? How are your kids adjusting? How are you adjusting? Because it really is a big adjustment if you were doing any school to kind of jump back in. I kind of underestimated how kind of it is a bit harder to get going, even if you're excited about it. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.